Hello and welcome everybody. This is Ebo Quagraine, your real estate investor mentor coach. We're trying this thing out for the first time, okay? And we thought, what better day to start this than on the day that the budget speech is being read? So let's talk about this budget speech. First and foremost, for those of you following my timeline, you would realize something that I've been consistent in terms of following the budget speech on a year by year basis. And somebody asked me, why do you bother watching the budget speech? It's full of negativity or it's full of promises that don't really get delivered. Here's why. If you are calling yourself a wealth seeker, it is very, very important that you get to understand the dynamics of the economy within which you are working in or you are creating wealth in. Because there's two things that will definitely affect you, or two things that is certain in life: tax and death. Okay, tax and death. It sounds brutal, but these two things really, really mean a lot. So if you are going to be a great wealth builder, you want to know what the government is planning or proposing around taxes. And the budget speech basically gives a synopsis of what taxes will be like. So back to the budget speech. The budget speech gives a broad overview of what government proposes to do with the money that it will receive from you as a taxpayer, and on the other hand, what it expects from you as a taxpayer. So, for example, in today's budget speech, you would have heard that the average tax bracket is basically broadened a little bit, where the average person that is earning 10,000 Rand per month potentially gets the opportunity of saving plus minus about 1,500 Rand on per year for the taxes that they would have paid compared to the previous year. Another thing you would have heard, which is great news for me as a property investor, is that any single time I'm buying property below below a million Rand, I do not have to pay that 100,000 plus that I used to pay for transfer duty. It's gone. So there's no transfer duty for properties below a million Rand. Now somebody says, why is that so important, or why am I excited as a property investor? Here is the truth. The average investor that is investing for properties below a million Rand means that they are looking at a rental income of about 10,000 Rand. Now, if you do the math, a lot of South Africans are earning within the price bracket of 45,000 and 25,000. So these are the people that would actually be affording your rent. So therefore, it means that number one, you're getting to buy property a little bit cheaper than normal, and it is within the price bracket that a lot of people will be renting in anyway. So it's a win-win situation. So if there's one thing I'm so excited about in this budget speech, it is that increase in terms of the transfer duty threshold. Another thing that you would have heard, which is great, is that inflation is expected around 4.5%, right, for the year 2020 to 2021. Inflation is expected to range around 4.5%. South Africa as an economy is expected to grow at 0.9%. Somebody says, but what's so great about that? Let me explain to you. Whether the economy grows at 100% or at minus 100%, one thing is certain: everyone is going to need a roof over their head. So the growth rate is not so much of a thing to us, we put it aside. The part that is very important is the inflation rate. The average inflation is set at 4.5%. The battery is about to die. Inflation is set at 4.5%. If inflation is set at 4.5% or is expected around 4.5%, it basically means that the cost of goods and services, right, is set or is budgeted to increase not more than 4.5%. Now, you know that one of the things that I always talk about is the fact that in real estate, you make money when you buy and not when you sell, because you're able to budget all these costs in. Now, if you're budgeting these costs, one thing then that you have to your advantage is the fact that at 4.5%, you can now budget within the market that you're going to invest in. And if you then are charging slightly above inflation, you know that you're going to be making your money. Yes? Yes. So at inflation at 4.5%, it allows you basically to capture a wider market. It allows you to not increase your prices too much. If you are a seasoned real estate investor, you would know that occupancy rate is can cripple you. Okay, if you have a property sitting empty for 2-3 months, that is money lost, and all because you're chasing what, a 10% increase. If inflation is at 4.5%, it means that your cost of lifestyle or expenses has not increased that much or will not increase that much. So therefore, you can settle for a 5.5%, 6% increase on your rent on a year-to-year basis. And that means that you're able to retain your tenants a little bit better, and you're able to put more money in your pockets. So we titled this vlog today, What the Budget Speech Means for Your Pocket as a property investor, and also what it means for your portfolio. So let me sum it for you very quickly. What this budget speech really means is that, one, you have your constituency, or let me say your market, or let me say your consumers, okay? You have them breathing a sigh of relief because they're going to be paying less taxes. That means they'll have more money in their pocket. Them having more money in their pocket means that they'll be able to spend a little bit more. So it means that your properties will have people coming to rent. Two, you as a property investor now is going to have sort of a budgeted inflation of about 4.5%, meaning that you can now not overexert yourself in increasing your property prices, but just keeping it slightly above inflation, and you will still be fine, because anything above 5% as an increase, people are generally okay. Anything above 10%, they will look at leaving, and if they're leaving, it means that you have your property sitting empty a little bit longer, and you don't want that. So that's the second one. Thirdly, you've got the reprieve, or that ability to breathe in a little bit more, because now you're getting a concession on properties that are in the price bracket of $1 million and below, that you do not have to pay any transfer duty. Now, guys, get this wording right. Transfer duties. We're not talking about transfer fees, because I know in my groups when I was talking about this, a lot of people have been asking the question, oh no, but the lawyers are still going to charge transfer fees. There is transfer fees. That's the cost that the lawyer incurs to actually assist you in transferring the property from owner A to owner B. That is basically charged according to the gazetted rate. What we are referring to in this budget speech, or what was referred to in the budget speech, and is always often referred to in the budget speech, is transfer duty. So that is the tax on the property that is being transferred. So those are the three things that I wanted to talk to you about. And as a real estate investor, a real estate want-to-be, or investor want-to-be, or just an ordinary person that has got 1 or 2, 3 properties, and is just thinking, okay, with these properties, now that the budget speech has been pronounced, what happens to me and what does it mean to me? This 3 things is what you want to take away from. Just one last thing, as a bonus. One thing that came out very clear and very big, and for those of you that are following me, you realize that I teach that even when you're investing in property, you want to invest in property as a company as opposed to yourself. And I actually have a multi-layered approach. So people ask, do I do trust? Do I do just myself, or do I do a company? When you consult with me in your private capacity, there's a multi-layered approach that I teach, that I can assist you with in terms of creating your portfolio. But in this short video, what I want to harp on about is the company aspect. So there is future pronouncements that's coming with regards to the corporate tax rate, and there is every indication that companies are going to get taxed lesser and lesser. And for an individual, that is something that you want to consider. That's something that you want to look at. because you'd rather do things within a company structure for your own benefit. If this video was great for you, if you learned anything from it, please do not hesitate to inbox me. Let me know how you feel. Make sure you like this video, put a plus, share it. Let us get as many people watching this as possible and interact with me. If you liked it, let me know. If you want me to do more of these, let me know and I'll gladly do them. I'm Ebo Quagraine, your real estate investor, your mentor, and your coach. It's been a great pleasure. Have a great day. Cheers.